Working in a creative environment can be really stressful. You work on different projects at different times and nothing is really planned in advance. Or maybe you've planned everything, but a client calls you and suddenly everything just goes to shit. So you end up working late or on the weekend to get everything done, which means you spend less time with your friends and family. But if this sounds familiar, not to worry. There's a very simple way to be able to fix this. I'm going to walk you through a simple productivity hack for creatives that will help you take back control and win a full 8 hours a week. And in order to best explain this hack, I need to start by explaining a law. So this is a law principle rather than a law that's going to get you in trouble. The law is called Parkinson's Law. The concept is that humans will utilize all available resources that are made available to us, from bank accounts to earthly resources, etc. But this applies primarily to time in this instance. So I want to give you two different scenarios, the exact same end result, but two different people with two different motivations and different amounts of time available. So first, we have grandma. She needs to send out a birthday card to her granddaughter. Grandma sits, has her coffee, thinks about what she wants to write in that birthday card. And then she goes to CVS, buys that birthday card. Then she goes back home, thinks about exactly, again, what she wants to write, writes it in the card, and then drives to the post office to get it mailed out. It took her over 4 hours to get this entirely done from beginning to end. High-powered CEO. She has a whole lot less time available, but needs to send a birthday card to her niece. She's got 30 seconds in between two meetings to get this birthday card out. So she goes to her EA and says, hey, I need you to go down to CVS, pick out a birthday card that's largely around this area, and here's what I want you to write inside of it. And then I want you to mail it out to my niece. She got the exact same thing done, but in 30 seconds that took grandma 4 hours. Let's take a look at how this plays out in your real life. You have your day planned. You have a project that you are about to start. You get going on the project and then an email comes up. Bing! You get pulled into that email. You're starting to respond. In the midst of you getting that email, bing! Over here, you now have a Slack message. And then finally, okay, I'm now back to the project again. I can get back into it. And then someone turns around and asks you a question and interrupts you. In the midst of you doing that, your phone goes bing and you get a text message. And so now you're pulled over there. And this happens day after day, ongoing for the vast majority of creatives. There was a study that was done that dissected the actual productivity of white-collar workers and found that 6 hours of an 8-hour day was wasted in these exact types of distractions, and you need to avoid them. So now that we have what the issue is, how do we actually solve for it? The first thing that is incredibly important is understand what your ideal day looks like. So understanding when you're going to spend time for meetings, when you're going to reply to Slack messages, when you're going to reply to those text messages, when you have phone calls, what time you're going to work on projects, and when are you going to get those administrative things done. Understanding exactly what 30-minute blocks are dedicated for what, giving you a mechanism to understand where things will fit in. Then we have to evaluate that long to-do list that we haven't been able to get to because of all of the things that has been creating distraction. So I want you to take that to-do list and I want you to take a white sheet of paper. Write them all down. Once you have them written down, we need to filter through them. The first thing is, am I the only person in the world to get this done? Should I actually be doing this? Is this worth my time? Yes or no? The next thing is this a priority? It is important that we focus on the priority items that we need to get done, both for your clients as well as for your agency, making sure that you're able to make progress. There's nothing more defeating than having a to-do list that continues to grow, that somehow ends up longer at the end of the day than how it was when you started. So from that point forward, this is now Friday or Thursday, whenever you end your week. You're going to go through this entire list and you're going to plan out the entire week ahead of time, listing out exactly when you're going to be responding to emails and communication, when you're going to work on those projects that you had on the to-do list, when you're going to be meeting with both clients and your internal team. Being very clear of when you are going to do what. I want to point out here is that you want to be careful to understand that this is not going to work perfectly well the first time. You'll continue to get better over time. On average, this saves the vast majority of individuals 8 hours a week, but some people are able to save upwards of 24 hours in a week, 3 full days of work by doing exactly this. This is, though, just applying it to one individual. Let's imagine this larger extreme example. I had a client that was doing about 8 million a year, that had 35 employees at the time, and their team was incredibly distractible. going through a time study and looking at some screen capture softwares of what was going on within the agency, Parkinson's law was happening for them. There was $1.2 million of billable hours that was being wasted, distracted. The team was incredibly overwhelmed, incredibly stressed out. They were writing up a ton of time and able to save that billable time by installing exactly this into the agency. So imagine if this is the life for you and you have a team, the amount of far-reaching repercussions that this has on your business. And one of the most impactful pieces that it also allows for you to make progress, being able to work on those things that you never were able to have time for before, being able to work on your business and not just in it. So now you know how to manage your day better, but that doesn't change the amount of work that you have to do. So check out this video where I explain the #1 hack for creatives so you can spend less time working on the boring tasks and more time working on the stuff you love.